Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Talking with Heroes talk show program. I am Bob Calvert, your host. Ted is behind the camera, and we're still here at Camp Eggers in Kabul, Afghanistan. We're on a NATO training mission base, and it's an honor to introduce our next guest to you. Why don't you introduce yourself and talk about where you're from and how long you've served?
I'm Colonel Dave Johnson. I'm from Anaheim, California, and I have been serving in the United States Army for almost 24 years.
Okay, and you kind of surprised me because my memory is not as good as yours. We have some previous contact.
Yep, I was here before. This is my second tour here at Camp Eggers in Kabul, Afghanistan. I was here in 2007, 2008, and that's where I first heard about you. I think we probably had a conversation about what your program was all about. Unfortunately, we didn't have a chance to meet back there in 2007, 2008, but I'm back again for my second time here. So everything's going well. It's been a fast month. Just got here not too long ago, but as a lot of folks know that are in the military, once you hit the ground, it's not walking, it's running. So it's been a great experience. Happy to be here, proud serving, and I'm seeing a lot of progress. It's amazing because I come with a little history here. I can look back what it was like in 2007, 2008, and compare it to now. Amazing amount of progress, and that progress really didn't happen overnight. It happened with a lot of hard work, a lot of effort on the part of soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, not only from the United States, but also from the coalition forces. Because we got a really tough job here, and the job that we are here to do is to be able to train and build an Afghan national security force so that they can be able to provide security and defend their country. And the job our folks are doing is amazing, from ensuring that they've got facilities, to ensuring that they got proper equipment, proper vehicles, leader discipline. It's just amazing how much the Afghan National Army has grown and how much the Afghan National Police has grown. There's hiccups, but guess what? Every day is better than the last, and they're looking towards the future to ensure that they're able to provide not only their government, but also the people of Afghanistan, the democracy, the freedom, and the security that they deserve.
So talk about what you do, if it probably every day is different, but on a daily basis.
Sure, every day is different. Well, I'm the Director of Strategic Communication here for the NATO training mission in Afghanistan. So in essence, my job is to synchronize, coordinate the communication so that we're speaking not only with one voice, but we're speaking to an audience that understands what we do. Our job is to inform folks, not only inform the American audience, but also the Afghan audience, the audience of the troop contributing nations, NATO, Europe, all over the world, what NATO training mission Afghanistan is doing here in Afghanistan. And the interesting thing is we're just not here in Kabul. We're all over Afghanistan because our mission is to be able to train, equip, and help build a quality Afghan National Army and a quality Afghan National Police Force.
So when we leave, we don't have to necessarily come back. Right.
Well, that's the key thing. Right now we're going through transition, and transition is a process. It's not we hand over the keys and we walk away, but a transition is where we're able to pass off to the capable and effective security forces from the Army and the police to be able to assume more of that responsibility. Because as you know, by 2014, there's going to be a reduction, and we're going to hand over this fighting mission, or this mission to the Afghan National Army and the police. So they've got to be ready to take this mission on, and they are. They're getting ready, but we just went through our first phase, or we call it a tranche, where we transferred security with 7 cities, or seven districts, and there'll be another one coming up soon, and there'll be another one to follow, with the ultimate goal of by 2014, NATO training mission Afghanistan will be reduced probably about half to maybe 2,000, 3,000 trainers, advisors, being able to continually train and advise the leaders from the Army and the Air Force. Another interesting thing is so much of our focus has been up to now is training Afghans to fight. Well, now we're starting to switch. Instead of training the Afghans to fight, we're training Afghan trainers to be trainers, so that we want to ensure that when we leave, we have an enduring, sustainable force. And that not only includes the Army, but it also includes the Air Force, it includes the police, it includes medical, it includes logistics, it includes everything that goes in to making an effective and capable military, police force, and Air Force.
That's great. I appreciate you covering it so well, too. That's your job, right?
Well, yeah, it is my job. And, I've got an advantage. I mean, this is my second time here. So my learning curve isn't as great as some folks. I've been on the ground now. I got here around mid-July of 2011, and so my learning curve wasn't what it like before. Last time, I'll tell you, we have a saying in the Army, we just get hit with a fire hose of information. It's been somewhat of a fire hose, but I've been able to swallow it in doses and understand it. So as you know, in the military, we love acronyms. That's one of the hardest things, is to get over all these acronyms and where they go. So it's been easy for me. The only big difference coming back here at especially Camp Eggers is it has grown. It has expanded, especially with the coalition forces. When I was here, very few coalition forces were here. It was primarily a joint base made up of Army, Navy, Air Force, and Marines. But now we've got Canadian forces here. We've got French forces here. We've got British forces here. We have Polish forces here. We've got Turkish forces. You name it. I mean, this is really, really a coalition base, and that's new. And that really didn't start taking off until around the fall of 2009, because the whole concept, the whole mission really changed, and it was really at the kind of the end of the surge in Iraq. People started paying a little bit more attention to Afghanistan and saying, hey, if we're going to be able to be victorious here and be able to, at one day, hand over the keys and go home, we've got to be able to develop a capable and effective Army, Air Force, and a police force. They have to have that's those sustainable, enabling systems to be able to defend, but also protect and secure their homeland. So it's a tough mission. It's a tough mission. And a lot of people think, we're just here in Kabul, but we're all over. And I always like to say it's a training mission, but it's also a combat mission, because our soldiers and our sailors, our airmen and Marines, hey, they're out there in the front lines. Yeah. I mean, they're out there with those policemen, with those soldiers, training day in and day out, advising, coaching, helping them along so that they understand what it is to be in the Army as well as in the police. And now I said we're starting to transition, so we're starting to kind of pass over this concept of train the trainer, where we're training Afghan leaders to become trainers and leaders. Because again, we've got to step away. At one point, the keys are going to be handed to them, and they're going to take the reins, and they're going to be responsible for defending and securing this country. So that's really our goal. Our goal is to make sure we train leaders, and the leaders are ready to take over. And that's why job number one for us, job priority number one, is leader development. And you got to have good leaders. It's all about discipline. It's all about professionalism. It's all about duty. And that's what our American forces and the coalition forces brings to this fight. We bring that duty, that honor, and that country, and that's what we want to instill in the young leaders here in Afghanistan, as well as in the Army, as well as in the police. Not only the young ones, but also the middle-aged and the old guys like me as well. Yeah. Because I'll tell you, patriotism's great, but when you explain it in duty, honor, country, and what it means to serve your country as a soldier, or to serve your community as a police officer, or to serve as a pilot, that instills pride, that instills patriotism, and that's what we want to instill. And it doesn't happen overnight. We've come in here into this wonderful country that a lot of people don't know about, but it really is a wonderful place. And bottom line, the people here, they just want to have democracy, but they want to be safe, they want to be free, and they want to be able to live life that that they feel that they deserve, not only with their families, but enjoy what this great country has to offer. So 30 years this country has been at war, and it's almost like it's time for peace. Yeah. It's time for people to come together and talk about peace and get things going in the right direction. And I think there's hope. I have hope. I wouldn't be here if I didn't have hope. I'm glad I'm back. I volunteered to come back, and I couldn't think of a better place to serve my country and to be here. And for all the folks back home who aren't really sure, what is NATO training mission? What are you guys doing in Afghanistan? The bottom line is you can be proud of your soldiers, sailors, airmen, Marines, because they're doing a great job, and they're helping an Army, and they're helping a police force, and they're helping an Air Force get better every day. And guess what? They're getting better every day. Every day is a step forward.